Welcome to another English lesson. Today I have some more confusing word pairs for you. I will attempt to explain them all in under 10 minutes. So here we go. First, we have three words: regimen, regiment, and regime. We will start with regimen. A regimen are guidelines or rules a person might follow to become healthier. For example, you could have an exercise regimen or an herbal regimen where you take different herbs to become healthy. So it's usually related to fitness, diet, or medicine. Next, we have regime, which is also sometimes pronounced regime. Now, regime could mean the same thing as regimen, right? But typically in American English, we do not use regime in this way. In America, a regime is simply a type of government. That could be a socialist regime, a republic, a theocracy, a democracy, whatever. But more often than not, when we talk about regimes, we are talking about an authoritarian type of government. And lastly, we have regiment, which has two different definitions. The first is a noun. A regiment is a military unit or group of soldiers that can be divided into smaller groups of soldiers. They are commanded by a colonel, so it's a military term. Regiment can also be a verb, meaning to control the behavior of someone or some people strictly. So we could say the teacher regiments her classes whole day, meaning she probably plans it out and makes her students follow a strict schedule. The next word pair we have is drank and drunk. This can be quite tricky. So like the others, I'd like to look at the words individually first, starting with drank. Drank is the past simple or second form of the verb drink. So I could say, I drank 4 bottles of water. I drank some tea for breakfast. That's pretty easy, right? But then we have drunk. Drunk is the past participle or third form of the verb drink. So remember, we use the past participle with perfect forms of verbs like have drunk, had drunk, will have drunk, and so on. But we can also use the term drunk to mean that someone has had so much alcohol that they cannot perform regular actions. For example, he was too drunk to drive home, or getting drunk at weddings is fun. The next word pair we have is sensitive and sensible. And this word pair can be difficult because the word sensible takes the meaning of sensitive in many other languages. Spanish is one of them. But in reality, they could not be more different. In English, we use the word sensitive to talk about people who can be easily upset by things other people do or say. For example, we could say that John is a sensitive boy. He cries whenever people laugh at him. We also use sensitive in English to describe people who are able to understand others' feelings. For instance, Mark was very sensitive to Marjorie's situation because he too lost his mother recently. And then we have sensible. What does sensible mean? If I say that someone is sensible, it means that person has good sense or judgment. For example, I trust the judge's verdict because she seems to be a sensible woman. She makes good choices. She has no biases. She has sense. The words allusion and illusion can be difficult for English learners because they sound very similar in pronunciation, and in fast English, they sound pretty much alike. Let's start with allusion. An allusion is a remark that refers to something without stating that something directly. Allusions are quite common in literature. So, for example, the phrase Achilles' heel is used to describe a person's weakness. For instance, I can say, I love working out and I love eating vegetables, but fried foods are my Achilles' heel. They're my weakness. But this phrase, Achilles' heel, comes from the Greek mythological character Achilles. So we have a term we use quite often today that alludes to this character from literature. And then we have illusion. Illusion with an I is something that appears different from what it truly is, or something that appears to be real but is not actually real. For example, I like to listen to nature sounds as I'm going to bed. Usually it's some sort of sea sound. The sound of the sea is not actually near me, but I create this illusion of the sea sounds by listening to the sea sound audio. Now let's take a look at the next word pair, hanged and hung. Starting with hung. Hung is the past simple or second form of the verb hang, which means to attach something from the top so that the bottom part is loose. You can hang clothes. You can hang a picture. I assume you know what the word hang means, okay? But hanged is commonly used as if it were the second form of hang used in this sense, but it is not. Hanged is the second form or past simple of another definition of hang. It means something entirely different. If I say someone was hanged, it means that a rope was placed around that person's neck and it was attached to something above that person and the support underneath that person was removed, killing that person. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's a method of execution. That is all, folks. Another English lesson for you. If you enjoyed this lesson or found it useful, please remember to give me a like, subscribe to this channel for more English lessons, and until next time, English learners.